Karunakara Surindra Guruvarya Padambujam Navanita Natottam Sam Guru Pankti Shriyannumaha. Dear friends, let us listen to the story of Srutadeva. Srutadeva was a resident of Mithila during the time of Krishna Avatara. He belonged to a very poor but highly learned family, and he had a content life because of his single-minded devotion to Lord Krishna, who was then residing at Dwaraka. At this time, Bahulashva Janaka was the ruler of Mithila. He was also a very good ruler, pious and free of any kind of ego, and he also had great devotion to Lord Krishna. This king used to celebrate the marriage day of Sita and Rama in great style because he had a lot of emotional attachment to this event, since Sita had been born in his family as the daughter of Kshiradhwaja Janaka. In the yonder days, it was in this ancestral palace that the actual wedding had happened. So remembering that, he used to perform the wedding of Sita and Rama with a lot of emotional attachment. Now, one of the years, he felt that this function should be graced by Lord Krishna. So, he decided to invite Lord Krishna from Dwaraka to Mithila for Sita Kalyana. And the king chose one Samira Sharma, who was a pious Brahmin who used to work in his court, to carry the letter to Lord Krishna. Incidentally, this Samira Sharma was staying in the same street where Srutadeva was staying. So Samira Sharma happened to mention to Srutadeva that he was going with the king's letter to Dwaraka to invite Lord Krishna. Srutadeva was so attached to the Lord that he became very, very happy, and he requested his friend Samira Sharma that he must give a message from his side also to Lord Krishna to come and grace his hut for a while, at least when he visited Mithila, because it was his lifetime's dream to see Lord Krishna in person and to serve him at least for a few minutes. Now Samira Sharma very well knew that Srutadeva was having such great devotion towards Lord Krishna. So he did not want to hurt the feelings of Srutadeva by advising him that it would sound a bit excess if he invited the Lord to a poor man's hut as his guest. But he did not say anything actually to Srutadeva. He just took the palm leaf which had the message of Srutadeva for Krishna, and he left for Dwaraka with both the messages. As he reached Dwaraka, Lord Krishna received the royal messenger with great courtesy. Samira Sharma handed over the golden container with the message of King Bahulashva, which was written in golden sheets. The Lord read the message and said, "I will be happy to come over to Mithila. I will be there." After accepting all the hospitality of the Lord, as Samira Sharma was about to leave, the Lord asked him if he had anything more to say. It was only then that Samira Sharma realized that he had not given the message of Srutadeva to the Lord. He had actually forgotten to do so. Once reminded by the Lord, he handed over the palm leaf which contained the message of Srutadeva to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna read the palm leaf carefully and asked Samira Sharma, "Is the ashram of Srutadeva on the way to the palace when we enter the city of Mithila from the main road, from the Grand Trunk Road which comes from Dwaraka?" Samira Sharma said, "No, my lord. One will enter the city of Mithila from the southern gate when you come from Dwaraka. Srutadeva and myself live in the lane which is next to the northern gate. So if one has to reach our street, he will have to do so after crossing the palace only." Then Lord Krishna asked him another question. "Okay, Samira Sharma, just tell me, Is there any bypass road for travelers from the south who want to go beyond Mithila without entering the city? Samira Sharma said, yes, there is a bypass road which branches out from the Grand Trunk Road at about 5 yojanas from it, and that is exactly where our lane is also. So Krishna was happy and he signaled to his driver Daruka and said, please note all these details. Daruka said, okay. Samira Sharma was amused at the fact that the Lord was asking so many details about how to reach the lane where he lived and Srutadeva lived. He couldn't believe that the Lord was even thinking of visiting a poor man's house like that, because he didn't know Krishna was the Lord himself. He thought Krishna, being a king, was thinking of visiting a poor man's hut, which seemed very, very great and compassionate to him. So he came back to Mithila, told King Bahulashva that Lord Krishna would be coming soon, and he also informed Srutadeva that the Lord had accepted his invitation too and had promised to call upon him when he visited Mithila. So Srutadeva was absolutely excited. He thought that when the Lord would come to the city of Mithila, he would go to the southern gate to receive him with Purna Kumbham. Now Purna Kumbham is a vessel, a holy pot in which sacred water is kept, and it is decorated with mango leaves and coconut. It's a symbol of respect to invite great people when they come to our house. So he wanted to go with Purna Kumbham to the southern gate and be with the retinue of the king to invite the Lord, and also give him a personal invitation to visit his hut whenever he had time. So finally the actual day came, and the news of Lord Krishna nearing Mithila came to everybody. But surprisingly, as Srutadeva woke up that day, he found it very difficult to even get up from his bed. He was running high temperature. His wife and his son Yadudeva had to be beside him to attend to him. So, when the whole city of Mithila had gone to the southern gate to receive the Lord, only one family, that is Srutadeva's family, was in its own house, and Srutadeva felt very bad about it. Yadudeva, Srutadeva's son, went to see if he could get the physician Dhanvantri Sharma. But Dhanvantri Sharma too had gone to the southern gate to receive the Lord, so he too wasn't available. Srutadeva had tears in his eyes, and he very sadly looked at the Purna Kumbham that he had prepared to receive the Lord, and he said, "Oh Lord, I don't know what sin I have committed. Maybe I was trying to do things for which I am not worthy. I tried to call you the Lords of Lords to my poor hut. Maybe I should not have done that. That's why I am running temperature today, and I cannot even come and see you when you are entering with so much of splendor into our own city." As he was thinking and shedding tears thus, he heard somebody knocking the door of his ashram. It was none other than Dhanvantri Sharma, the physician. He said, "Oh Srutadeva, what's wrong with you?" And then he held the wrist of Srutadeva and read the pulse. Miraculously, as soon as Dhanvantri Sharma touched him, Srutadeva started sweating, and his fever had disappeared. He was feeling absolutely fresh. And he said, "Did you attend the royal reception?" he asked Dhanvantri Sharma. Dhanvantri Sharma said, "See, what happened was, we all were waiting at the southern gate to receive Lord Krishna. All of a sudden, there was an announcement that the Lord had taken a diversion because of the damage of the road that the recent rains had caused. So, he had to take a diversion from the southern gate, and so he's planning to enter the city from the northern gate by taking the bypass. And the northern gate is present at 5 yojanas from the bypass. That is essentially at the end of the lane where Srutadeva was living. So that's why I rushed here to check on you, to tell you that the Lord is coming through your lane and that we all must be ready to receive him now from here. In fact, everybody who are supposed to receive the Lord at the southern gate. All of the city which is assembled there is now walking towards the northern gate slowly. But I knew that you hadn't come to that. Yes, you were not present in that crowd, so I thought you must be home and probably you weren't well, so I came to check on you. And now see, your fever is miraculously gone. It's all the Lord's doing. Go get ready. Let's go and receive the Lord, said Dhanvantri Sharma. Srutadeva was more than happy. He immediately got ready, and his family, along with Dhanvantri Sharma, went to the northern gate to receive Lord Krishna and his retinue. And he came down to his hut. Srutadeva was so pleased with the Lord's arrival that he did not even realize that nobody else other than his family had come to receive the Lord there. For a moment, the thought crossed his mind that it is really lethargic of the king not to have reached here on time, being the host to receive such an important guest. But then soon that thought went away, looking at the beautiful form of Lord Krishna in front of him. The Lord told him, I wish to be in your hut for a few days. So, can you have me as your guest? Srutadeva was speechless. He couldn't even think that the Lord for whom he had been longing for actually decided to stay with him for a few days. He agreed, and miraculously his house was filled with money and things which were required to host the entire retinue of Lord Krishna for the next few days. Srutadeva was so busy attending to Lord Krishna and his retinue that he did not even get the thought of asking the Lord whether he had to go to the royal palace or when he had to go to the royal palace. After a few days, the Lord took leave of him and went back to Dwaraka. It so happened that Dhanvantri Sharma came to him the next day and said, I don't know what you have been doing all these days, but Lord Krishna came to the palace, stayed there all these days and has gone away. You did not even come to see him. I thought you would come. But then I thought maybe you are still sick. Srutadeva was taken aback. He said, what are you saying, Dhanvantri Sharma? You came to check on me and by your touch that day I got cured, and then we both received the Lord together and I had him as my guest in my house for all these days. Dhanvantri Sharma couldn't understand a word of what Srutadeva was saying. Well, it was the miracle of the Lord to come himself as Dhanvantri Sharma, cure Srutadeva and make him his host to take care of him for a few days. And at the very same time, he was also the guest of the king, Bahulashva Janaka, stayed in the royal palace and went back to Dwaraka. So this story shows us that the Lord has no bias towards his devotees. Whether he is a poor devotee or a rich devotee doesn't matter to him. Richness of devotion is the only thing which counts for the Lord.